Alright folks, welcome again to League of Legends YouPlays. I am Pat, the Twiz Harrison from e-rev TV, and thank you guys for joining me again for another one of these great League of Legends replays. I'm calling them the YouPlays because it's not just the top teams that we're showing here, just regular community members kind of taking each other on. So we have, this one is a replay that I got from clgaming.net again, and this one is called 20 Stacks of Everything Teemo. So this should be a pretty good one. 248 downloads on this one, so should be a nice one to take a peek at here. Let me go ahead and start playing here so we can get into the action, but let me give you a rundown of all of the people here. As we have Spursy on Jax, Oncock on Dr. Mundo, who is actually Corporate Mundo, Link 1 as Katarina, the Bubblesman as Olaf, and Adian as Sivir. And now, as we're looking at the Teemo here, that is being played by Ruiz, something R-E-W-I-S, so let's call it Ruiz, Nivrad on Shin, and Killian on Soraka, and I'm Andy Mang on Gragas. And my favorite person in this game going to be Butt Rage on Kassadin. Yes, I said it, Butt Rage is going to be playing Kassadin here. And that is for the purple team. So this should be a pretty good one. Lineup right now, we're looking at Kassadin in middle. Shen going to be rocking out the jungle. Gragas with the solo top lane. Teemo Soraka at the bottom there against Corporate Mundo. So what's really weird about this was, I chose this one from a little bit lower elo bracket, so a lot of the times I usually look for anything that's like team 1800 plus and toss it out there. This one's from like around the 1300s bracket, but I think it's going to be pretty cool to see a Teemo with 20 stacks of everything, so this should be a really enjoyable one to watch and have some good commentary and stuff with it here. Again, guys, if you're new to the League of Legends YouPlays, tell your friends about it. It's pretty exciting. I try to get one done a day. Sometimes I can't, but I usually try to get one up for the community favorites, as well as the coverage from the major tournaments and stuff that I do on e-rev TV. So you guys can check out e-rev.tv there for like any matches from team versus team stuff. But as far as the YouPlays, that's going to be something I'm doing on my own here on my YouTube. So for the blue team right now, we're seeing Katarina coming to the middle lane. And at bottom, I do know we have Mundo there, as he's just poking cleavers from the bushes on the side. Sivir going to be joining him on the bottom lane. Top lane going to be the solo against Gragas' Jax. So let's talk about starting items. This is one thing I do all the time. Shen obviously going cloth armor, 5 health pots, amplifying tome, and a health pot out of Teemo. Which is a little bit weird because he is laning with Soraka. Soraka going with the Doran's Ring. Gragas picking up a Sapphire Crystal and a health potion. And a Butt Rage picking up the Doran's Ring. As we move on to the other lanes here, Jax Brucey has got a Doran's Shield. Katarina with the Doran's Shield as well. Link 1 there in the middle lane. Oncock and Aiden. Oncock has a Ruby Crystal, and Aiden picking up the Meki Pendant and 2 health potions. So, at the bottom lanes where we're seeing the majority of the action right now, just because we have Mundo Cleavers over and over again, along with the strong harass from Sivir's little boomerang throw there, and we're just seeing it, all in all, eat away some of the health here on Teemo. But I don't know if that's going to be enough to stop the farm, because he does have Soraka being there as the babysitter for him. So let's take a peek at middle and see exactly how my friend here, who's not actually my friend, I just love the name, see how Butt Rage here is doing against Link 1 in middle. So as far as CS goes right now, early in the game, Kassadin, a.k.a. Butt Rage, sitting at 9 right now. Katarina sitting at 9 there, so they're mirroring each other in middle. What's going to be a big difference here is seeing what Gragas can do against Jax at the top lane, as we just see him kind of bashing on each other a little bit there. Jax with 15 CS already. Gragas only at 9 right now, so Jax pulling on to a little bit of a lead here.
Executed.
And I'm missing it here, but Shen dying at the lizard buff. Did not expect to see that. Again, guys, this is something that's at 1300 elo. This is not a normal 1800 plus one that I did, but in those games, you normally wouldn't ever see a Teemo try to go for stacks like this. So the title of this match, again, is 20 Stacks of Everything Teemo. So it's going to be kind of cool to see what happens. No, I have not watched the replay yet. I never watch them before I do them, because then I feel like I sound scripted, so I'd rather do everything on the fly here. As far as CS at the bottom goes here, again, we're only a couple minutes into the game. Right now, we're looking at Soraka only with 1 CS. Teemo only with 7. Very light when you have a Soraka babysitter. Soraka's going to give all that farm up, so Teemo really needs to make sure that he's able to do these last hits down here. So Shen coming back and going to try to head back into the jungle after that that devastating loss that he had to the Lizard buff. Here we're seeing Kassadin and Katarina going at it, and there we go, Butt Rage drawing the first blood there, barely in time because we had Olaf coming in, and he may go to chase this. No, he's going to go and take one shot from the tower, try to throw one of his axes up there. And that's going to be the end of that. So first blood going to Team Purple right now. Kassadin, the Butt Rage, grabbing that. So let's take a little peek at the top lane here. Pretty boring lane. Usually anything with Gragas in it gets kind of boring, just because there's not a whole lot of damage output. He just basically sits here and sustains the lane very, very well. Can sit in there for long periods of time. And obviously he's going to give Jax a hard time with his barrel harass here. So Jack's now trying to go in and go after him a little bit, and we're seeing Gragas just answering right back here, trying to put out a little bit of damage. Back to the bottom lane, as we have now seen Teemo be able to harass these guys down quite a bit here. Sivir being forced to use one of her health potions. Mundo filing like he does, because Mundo does as he pleases, and today he's wanting to file away at the Teemo here. So again, Katarina and Kassadin just kind of duking it out here in middle. The majority of this time. Oh, one thing I did forget to cover. Let me go through that super duper quick here, so I don't miss any action here. Summoner spells. So Jax and Gragas up at the top. Gragas taking Flash and Exhaust as his summoner spells. Jax with Ignite and Ghost. Heading towards middle here, where we're seeing Link 1 and Butt Rage. As we're now seeing Kassadin come in here with the Silence, but Kassadin picking up the Ignite and Ghost, and the Katarina picking up Ghost and Exhaust, so that's going to be her summoner spells. The jungler Jax picking, not Jax, Shen, obviously was smiting Ghost, and I didn't even see who was jungling, Olaf jungling for the blue team here. He has picked up Ignite and smiting Ghost as well. And then as we look at the bottom lanes, Sivir with Ghost and Exhaust, so quite a bit of Exhaust that we're seeing here. And down goes Gragas. Gragas being taken down at the top lane by Jax there. And Kassadin coming in on Jax right now. Jax must be at low health, although the replay doesn't necessarily show it the best. He was lower at health. And now we're seeing Soraka, along with the help of Shen and Teemo here, trying to go after this guy. Maybe going to get the kill on Sivir. Sivir almost dead, and yes, she does go down at the hands of Teemo. Teemo with the poison there, and the blinding dart's going to be taking her down. Shen went in there with a very, very nice taunt. Able to do that. Teemo, for his summoner spells, he has taken Flash and Ghost. And Soraka taking Flash and Exhaust. So a lot of Flashes, a lot of Exhausts, and a lot of Ghosts throughout this game here. So, quite a few get out of jail free cards. As Soraka beginning to push this lane up, Teemo now going back to pick up one of his first early game items here, which, since it's called 20 stacks of everything, I'm assuming he's going to be picking up probably a Magi's right away. And I hope this game doesn't turn out to just be where he gets 20 stacks of Magi's and that's it. I will be so disappointed in casting this level of play for that. So we're seeing a little bit of warding going on here as it's caught Olaf migrating through his jungle. Kassadin and Shen at the blue buff. Kassadin going to be given the blue buff to come back here for a little bit more middle controls. Katarina's just gathering up some more farm here. I know it shows that she was level 1. She is not level 1. As far as farm goes right now, Jack's taking a lot of farm at 40. Katarina at 41, Sivir at 43, and that's toppling over anything that the purple team's doing right now. The highest person on the purple team being 35, and that is Gragas, their middle champion Cassidy, only sitting at 30 right now. And then we see Teemo at 22, Shen at 20 from the jungle, and 6 creep kills out of Soraka. Right now, as we're seeing Olaf attempt to come up here for a gank, and we see some file. Oh my gosh, so much harass. We see the boomerang throw there, we see the file, and then we see his hatchet. All going after Teemo's face. So no line of sight in this area, definitely leaving these guys susceptible for more and more opportunities for Olaf to gank. As now we see these guys chasing down Katarina. Katarina juking back through the bushes, and Shen does land up on top of her with a taunt, and that's going to allow them to finish that up. So the score being 4-1 right now in favor of the purple team, although we're seeing the blue team seem like they're doing a little bit stronger as far as CS in the lanes. So Teemo picking up his first item. Yes, it is a Magi's Soul Stealer that we can see here at the bottom of my screen if you look at the lower left. So that's going to be the first thing where he's going to attempt to go for stacks here. Olaf comes middle here to go up against Cassidy. And we still see Jax doing quite well up here at the top lane, as he's managed to get quite a bit of farm. And looks like going for the Ginsu's Rage Blade is going to be his first item that he's working towards. Gragas picking up the Sapphire Crystal and a Ruby Crystal. So that's going to be built into a Catalyst, which is more than likely going to be built into his Rod of Ages here, to give him a little bit more AP output as well as some tank abilities. We're seeing Gragas go after him now. He is busting all of his skills on him. He does flash in on him. We see an ultimate there that I believe is supposed to push him back. Now he's running into a problem here as Olaf was waiting inside the bush there. And Olaf now going at him. Shen ult onto Gragas, trying to save the day here. Gragas using his body slam to attempt to go back into this fight. But no, he's just going to get away. Cassidy now going after Katarina middle, and he is chasing her down. We're seeing Katarina ult on Cassidy. Cassidy attempting to move out of the way of it, but she follows it. And just in and out on here. I wish I knew what their health was at right now. I believe Cassidy's health is correct. And there we go. That answers my question there. Katarina's health is none right now, as she is dead. And this guy is on a killing spree. So, very nice Cassidy in 3-0-1 right now. Teemo now with his shroom there going after Sivir, and he is trying to chase her down. The poison on her now, and now he's going back to some farming here as we're seeing her run into that shroom as well as the poison dart and some right click and poison damage. So if you're curious of his skilling order right now, he has 4 into Blinding Dart already here, so Blinding Dart's going to be the first one that he maxes out. 2 into Toxic Shock, so he can have a little bit more of that poison. And Move Quick, only 1 in that level right now. And then, of course, 1 into his Noxious Trap, which are going to be the little mushrooms that we're seeing him put around here. Middle is now missing. Gragas is overextended at the top here, as we're seeing him up against Jax, but Sivir not going for that gank. It doesn't mean that Olaf isn't in this area. We do see a Vision Ward put in the bush here. That's going to allow him the ability to actually push this lane and not be as susceptible to ganks. Doesn't mean that Olaf's not going to get through here while he's not looking. And now we're seeing the bottom lane beginning to make a move on each other here as they're now running into shrooms. Olaf coming down for the gank as well. These guys hustling back to the tower here. Soraka almost dead, and yes, she does go down. Teemo trying to chase down Katarina and not going to get her. Soraka does go down. We've seen Kat and Olaf, and Mundo there for that gank. I hope that Shen's not really I know he's not really level 5 here, so this is not correct because we've seen him use his ult a little bit ago. So he's not level 5, so just ignore what we're seeing there. He's, with the replay system, it's a little glitchy sometimes. It does make it a little difficult to do a lot of casting from it, but you know what? It's better than nothing right now. And I'm pretty excited about the LOL YouPlay series. I think it's going to be kind of a big deal. We see a lot of top teams being casted, and in the future we'll see a lot of companies casting those top teams. But this is based more on just the average Joe playing and getting their moment in the spotlight. You know, everybody loves it when they go on the radio and you know, their little stuff set on the radio. Trying to do the same thing for the League of Legends community by doing the professional commentary just on their average Joe replays here. Gragas was able to kill Jax at the top lane. And that putting the score 6-2 right now. Oh, we're seeing Olaf come around from this bush here, but they know that he is there. The tower does go down. Olaf doubling back around. We're going to see Shen and Gragas maybe attempt to go after this. Sivir no longer in middle here. Cassidy coming in on him. Gragas coming in with a body slam. Shen's going to come back around here. He cannot be disabled right now. Sivir coming from the middle, hoping to help with that. And now she's just going to put herself into a bad situation where she may go down as well. And yes, we're seeing Butt Rage Cassidy taking her down as well. And that's going to put him at 4-0-2 for his score right now. So doing a good job coming in and picking up some more kills there. Another thing I did want to toss out here, guys, a little bit of talk on some LAN tournaments coming up. PAX East is 10 days, 19 hours, and some odd seconds away. And the only way I know that is because I just visited their website. I will be at PAX East doing some interviews with players and stuff there. So feel free to message me on my YouTube account here, or I'll also have my Skype listed in this details as well. If you're going to be at PAX East, I'd love to get with you and do some regular player interviews there as well. So that should be pretty nice. PAX East, if you're not too familiar with it, being held in Boston, Massachusetts. And I believe like the Boston Expo Center or the Civic Center, something like that. So I will be there. e-rev TV will be there. So it should be something that's going to be quite enjoyable, and we're going to be going around doing a lot of interviews. While this is talking about interviews, we're seeing some action happening here in middle, as Sivir and Olaf being forced back towards their tower here. Jack scrounging out whatever farm he can get left out of the top lane. So a couple different lane switches here. We're seeing Cassidy now rotating to the bottom lane here as we see Dr. Mundo and Katarina there. He's going to attempt to go in here. I believe they've got this warded, hence why we see her Shumpo off. The blink and silence from Cassidy onto Dr. Mundo. And that's not going to be anything that's going to be devastating. A ward here. Very good ward catching. Jax trying to come up here onto the middle lane. Gragas again coming back towards the top to gather up that farm. Push that as well. Another LAN coming up, guys, is in May, is the GXL LAN event, and this year it's going to be held at the Greater Philadelphia Expo Center in beautiful Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And speaking of beautiful, this beautiful Olaf now trying to attempt to come bottom for a gank here. I'm hoping that these guys had seen that ward placed there. He's actually sitting in this bush right now, waiting for the most opportune time to make his presence known. And attempt to take down Butt Rage, and here we go, Cassidy. He's actually blinking out of there and just doing a ton of damage. As we've seen Olaf immediately go to half health there just from those 3 skills. Teemo now coming towards the middle here, possibly going for a gank on Sivir. I know he's just falling back here to gather this farm and defend the tower. But again, guys, you can check out the GXL stuff, www.thegxl.com. I'll have that posted in the description as well, so you guys can go there and check that website out. Because they've had some League of Legends stuff going there as well. And you know what? I go to quite a few LAN tournaments. The GXL is by far some of the funnest stuff that I'm going to. Speaking of fun, Butt Rage not having fun right now, as looks like Mundo and Katarina just going in on him, and he is losing half of his health. Luckily, he's got that built-in blink. They're able to escape from this. And we now see him going after Dr. Mundo. Dr. Mundo now with the ultimate off. Soraka in with a heal here. And they're just not able to sustain a lot of constant damage output from these guys. The Ignite did go on to Cassidy, which was going to be one of the reasons the heal didn't do near as much healing. And we're seeing him come in again, just blinking in, silence, and doing his pulse. But again, like I was saying about the GXL, it is so much fun at that event. One of the guys that put it on Turk just makes it enjoyable for everybody there. It is so laid back, and it is just such a great LAN event. If you haven't been to one, I definitely suggest doing that first if you guys are going to be around the Philadelphia area in the middle of May or so. The dates, I don't know the exact dates. They are on the GXL website, though. So, guys, last night, the ESL finals for the qualifier stuff finishes up. CLG coming out the victors of that. Pretty good if you got a chance to do it. Around 30,000 viewers in attendance on the ESL TV stream. So they definitely did a great job putting on a show there. It's something interesting that had happened. So now we're about 19 minutes in the game. Let's take a look at what we're looking at for Teemo items. He has Sword of the Occult and the Magi Soul Stealer right now, so a very weird hybrid build. And I don't believe he's got stacks on anything yet, so he's got to build up some stacks. No, he has not. He is 1-0 and 0 now. And this laning phase being drawn out a very, very long time. This is one thing that you see in the lower LO games that tend to happen. These lanes begin to get drawn out far, far too long. If you were watching any of this stuff yesterday on ESL TV, you can see that the laning phase ends much, much earlier when you get to a higher level of play. And this has just been a farm off this entire time here. To give you an idea of what we're looking at for CS right now, the leading person, again, Jax, 118 creep kills, as he's been able just to dominate that top lane as far as farming goes. Gragas with 100, so about 18 CS behind there. And let me make sure that I'm focused on the bottom lane here. And I'm hoping this game doesn't last an hour, because I would love to be able to get out of here and grab some lunch before I head to work today. So back to CS, now that I see that no action's going to be happening there. 102 out of Link 1, Katarina, and 102 out of Adian, and that is Sivir. Only one toppling over 100 is Gragas, who's finally reached the 115 mark here. Kasten sitting at 92. Nivrad Shen at 75, and Teemo's pushed out 81 CS. And Muno here at the tower, and there's not going to be a lot that Soraka's going to be able to do to defend this, because she doesn't have the damage output. We're now seeing Cassidy as well as Shen beginning to rotate down the river, but will they get here on time? Cassidy just immediately going to go in with this tower here as we see him silence and do the rift. The tower does go down, and these guys are going to attempt to possibly commit themselves. Maybe, maybe not, maybe, because they do have Shen here. They're beginning to overstay their welcome as more and more of the purple team have arrived for this fight here. And now we're seeing Shen coming with the taunt. Dr. Mundo being their prime target, definitely not what you would normally look for. We're seeing Cassidy trying to do as much damage as possible here, but that's not going to be enough. Katarina ult off, and we're going to see Cassidy going down here. Now they're going to attempt to chase down this Soraka, who's built her Magi's as well. And she does take a cleaver, as well as a little dancing blade, followed up with the Shunpo there. And boom, she goes down here, making the score 8-5 in favor of the purple team, but the blue team definitely doing a strong job there, pushing the bottom lane and picking up 3 kills from that, as we've seen Shen, Cassidy, and Soraka, all 3 going down. And this is going to give Jax an opportunity to attempt to do some damage here at the top lane, as, you know what? I thought for sure that he was going to be picking up a Ginsu's Rage Blade, but he has picked up a Blasting Wand and a needlessly large rod, so AP Jax, ... I think that's what I'm seeing here. And if we're going to see Teemo end up with 20 stacks of everything, we're going to have to see some action very soon here. Nearly 23 minutes in this game, as we have had a very drawn-out, long laning phase at this time. And now we're seeing the blue team beginning to push this. Olaf going after Cassidy there in the middle lane, and he's going to back off. But he does do half of Cassidy's health, but Soraka's there, so Soraka going to be able to, she's healing for right around the 350s right now, so able to heal her up, or heal Cassidy up. And now we have a gathering of the purple team to middle here, all 5 players here, so this is going to be one of the first opportunities for a strong team fight that we've seen. Dr. Mundo down here at bottom, so they're knowing that worst case scenario they're going to be in a 4v5 situation. And it's actually looking 3v5 as Jax is not here as well. And these guys attempted to do some damage to the tower here, and in and out with the harassing skills that they have. We're going to be seeing Mundo rotate from this point up through here. So don't be surprised if we see him here in just a couple moments coming through the brush here. And when he gets close, what we'll see is a little bit more aggressive gameplay out of these guys. We see how their back game playing a little bit more passive here. When Mundo begins to get himself in a position, these guys are going to start to push a little bit more. Although they may choose to stay back as we have a Gragas ultimate off, and down goes Olaf here early on in the game. Gragas with very, very low health here, now getting killed from Soraka with her ultimate as well as her heal. And now they've began to commit themselves to this fight. We're seeing a lot of the blue team now taking devastating amounts of damage as the Dr. Mundo ults off. Jax trying to come in here, blink away from Cassidy. Teemo just focus firing on Jax there, and that's going to be taking Jax down. And now we're seeing all the focus turn to Mundo, who does not have an ultimate left. He is exhausted, and he is going to go down as well here at the hands of Soraka. Yes, Soraka getting the kill there. And that's going to help him build his stacks up, as he has 3 stacks on his Leviathan armor, 3 stacks on his, 3 stacks on his Sword of the Occult, 3 stacks of Soul Engorgement on the Magi's Soul Skiller. So 17 more to go, and he's going to get exactly to where this VOD says he's going to be, which is 20 stacks of everything. So it's going to be cool to see if he can actually do this, or if this is some kind of a troll replay. But it did get a lot of attention. Again, 248 downloads here from the CL Gaming side. Olaf being the first person back up for the blue team. Is he trying to come back here to middle, possibly doing some kind of a counter push. All the people pretty low on health here, but he chooses not to. So towers being at 2 apiece here. We see the bottom tower as well as the top tower being taken down against the purple team. Purple team responding as they have taken down the top tower for the blue team, as well as pushed the middle tower for the blue team as well. Large creep wave here at the bottom, so if we can get a good farming push here, they could get a little bit more tower damage and set themselves up in a position to gather this, as well as take the dragon once this lane's pushed. So other than the Teemo Shrooms right now, we're seeing very little warding on this map from any of the other team members. Some item builds that we're seeing here is... is this whole team with the Magi's now? We're seeing Shen picking up a Magi's Soul Stealer as well, Soraka and Cassidy, so a lot of snowballing going on right now up to this point. Leviathan armor, is this... everybody going for this? Is this game could become something completely different? Or this is a 5s and they're going for only snowball stuff? Possibly. As we see 3 Leviathan armors as well. Shen with Magi's and Leviathan. Teemo with Magi's, Leviathan, and Sword of Occult. Wow, Soraka with Magi's and Leviathan. Everybody else in the team must not have got the memo, because we're seeing Cassidy only with the Magi's Soul Stealer. So some item builds here. One thing to pay attention is Olaf's getting some of his core items here. Already picked up his Frozen Mallet in his Wriggles Lantern. Cassidy attempting to go for some damage here in middle, but Soraka only one there to back him up. We're now seeing 3 players of the blue team coming in here for this fight, and Cassidy blinking away here, getting a heal, ultimate from Soraka as well as the ultimate from Shen, and he just comes back in trying to hit and run here. Teemo finally around the middle here. Gragas positioning himself from the side, and we're going to be seeing a Gragas ultimate going out to separate these guys, and they have now began to chase down Katarina. Katarina going down here. Gragas coming and pushing himself back up, seeing the flash here, positioning himself ahead, and now we see Sivir going down as well. So Sivir has dropped here in the middle lane, and they're beginning to push this back up to the tower. Dr. Mundo rotating towards the bottom lane here, and he's going to attempt to gather some of this tower here. Cassidy with the chase here. He is now trying to chase down from Jax, and Jax going down. Olaf fading away on Cassidy, but yes, Cassidy does drop here. Teemo going to come through here and get the follow-up kill. Actually, I believe, yes, Shen grabbing that follow-up kill. And that's going to grab these guys some more stacks. 777 already what Teemo's built up for. Soraka sitting at 8 and 3 on her Leviathans and her Soul Stealer. And then we're going to see Shen. Shen is teleported back. Shen with 7 and 7 on his as well. Leviathan armor and his Magi's Soul Stealer. So the score now being 16-6 in favor of the purple team. Purple team able to push through there, kill that middle tower now. Back to, I'm going to finish up on items here. Katarina building a, make sure I get this right. Yeah, it is the Ginsu's Rage Blade. I always get that and Mumu's Ghost Blade mixed up because they just, sound almost the same. So AP Jax has picked up a Rabadon's, and now he's got a Blasting Wand. 1, 4, and 0 is the score out of him. A little bit of gathering in middle here. Middle tower nearly dead. Teemo saying that he needs some help here. And there we see the mushroom being dropped down, waiting for that to be triggered here. A little bit of damage going on to the tower now. We're seeing Sivir with her boomerang throw, hoping that that's going to do some damage. And now this team's beginning to commit themselves. Shen's coming in with the taunt, and everybody on Dr. Mundo right now. Mundo with his ultimate off, trying to run away for his dear life. And that's not going to be enough as he does go down. Sivir doubling back here, and she does put herself in a bad situation as well, as everybody in on top of her now. She's trying to get away from this. Olaf popping his ultimate so he can run away here. The purple team just chasing these guys down, and they're going to finish up gathering some of this creeps here and determine what their next step is. Greg is heading towards the top lane to gather that farm, and these guys are going to either A, continue to push middle, or B, go back, possibly go for a Baron, as we now have AP Jax trying to take on Gragas. Gragas popping his keg there, and looks like he's going to go down to AP Jax. AP Jax finishing that off with an Ignite there, and yep, he does drop. So sort of a cult being built on Shen here. So this is the Snowball Orama today, as we see Shen, Soraka, and Teemo, all with Magi's and Leviathans. And Teemo and Shen both adding the Sword of an Occult onto that as well, where they're attempting to build up these stacks here. We're already seeing Teemo at 9, 9, and 9 for his stacks at the current time here. Sivir beginning to push up to the middle lane here. There's not a lot of health left on this tower, so she's going to try to get this down and basically have all the outlying towers down here for the purple team. She does back, though. One thing that I would have liked to have seen there would have been a little bit more focus on Baron. As we're 30 minutes into the game here, the purple team was put in a great situation where they could have easily gotten the Baron buff, but have chose not to. Also, Dragon has not been a prime focus for this team as well. Global Gold not being something that's too important, as we're seeing Teemo come over here, dropping a Shroom down, but they're all here. I don't know why they're not just going to gather it up. Dr. Mundo coming in and landing on that Shroom, and look at how quick his health is going to drop as he is ignited here, just on the instance, so that if he were to pop his ultimate, which we're seeing right there, he would be ignited and the health would be reduced. The health region would be reduced. Now we see Shen chasing these guys down. He is at 11, 11, and 4 for his stats right now. They may try to catch Olaf. Yes, looks like they do have him taunted here, and they're now attempting to go after Olaf. Olaf popping his ultimate, being forced to run away. Jax as well as Sivir both coming to respond in this fight. And now they have, they're all in on Shen right now, and the rest of the team not seeming to do a lot here. Being forced either back out of this fight. We're seeing poor little Teemo run away. He doesn't want to lose his stacks. Save my stacks, save my stacks. Oh no, don't want to lose them all. Cassidy trying to get out of here as he was able to blink away, but he is now at no mana and no health, and another Shroom here is going to be holding these guys back. Teemo just dropping Shroom after Shroom after Shroom in attempts to run away here. Sivir with the boomerang toss, barely missing it. Cassidy trying to run away from here, and Teemo going to land on top of Sivir. He's attempting to go for her. And oh, look at that Shroom there. That might be nearly enough to kill her. And they're now going after him. This mushroom after mushroom is taking this team down to very low health. And we now see Teemo taking down Katarina and coming up onto Sivir here. And poison or blinding dart there going on to him. And Aiden going to go down. I believe that Sivir went down. Yes, he does kill the Sivir as well. And now going and chasing down Olaf. Will the poison be enough to do it? He grounds up that kill as well. Score being 7-0 and 5 right now for this Teemo, who is at 17 stacks on his Magi, Sword of Occult, and Leviathan armor. The rest of the team, since I have to do a stack update here, Cassidy, the one that was being forced out of that fight there, sitting at 10. Soraka sitting at 13 and 8 for her stuff, and I believe Shen did die there, so all of his little stacks have gone to nowhere as they have disappeared. 31 minutes, 59 seconds into this game. Still, this team has yet to make any attempt at Baron buff. Well, I guess they attempted to do a little bit of stuff at Dragon. There's, it seemed just a defensive mushroom going up from Teemo, which Mundo frolicked right into. Yes, good word there, frolic. Mundo was frolicking through the river one day when he stepped on a mushroom and got destroyed by a guy named Butt Rage. Butt Rage then chased into the woods after the rest of his team, where Butt Rage was then butt raped and forced back out of the fight, where the blue team then runs into a lot of mushrooms, taking their health from full to nothing, and then Teemo runs back into the fight using his little quick run skill and finishes them off to add more stacks to his snowball items. So that's the story that's going on right now, if you fast forwarded or skipped or for some reason are just wanting to watch it right now, of what we just seen happen. All three outlying towers down from both teams, along with two of the inner towers here down as well. Yep, I'm sorry, there goes the third outlying tower. There's Cassidy, pushes up through the bottom lane there and gets that down, but then runs away from Olaf, but the rest of the team is right there. Cassidy blinking for his life as we're seeing Jax. I believe Jax is now ghosted, running after him. And the rest of the team is going to be sitting here waiting. Everybody but Gragas, that is. Dr. Mundo sells. He is throwing the cleaver and forcing Soraka out of the fight here. And this team is not being put into a very strong situation here, as we're seeing Teemo playing very passive as he does not want to lose these stacks. Shen ultimate to come back around on him, and Shen may be going down again as these guys have now been forced back to their tower. Right now I'm feeling that the blue team a little bit stronger throughout the fights. Gragas finally coming back around here. The fight being 4v5. We're going to see him come in through the side here and do an initiation. He does body slam into Jax. Barrel is out, and now we have all the teams committed here, and Jax being forced to run away. We see the ultimate there to try to separate them, and Katarina immediately going in after Cassidy here, but she does get caught into the tower range. Everybody trying to attempt to tower dive here. We're seeing basically these guys are just sitting back here destroying these guys because they're just being ripped by this tower. All three people are at very low health, and that's not where you want to be, as we're seeing Shen come in here as well. And looks like we're seeing Jax drop. Teemo hitting and running. Cassidy at very, very low health here. Shen does drop down here. That's going to leave Sivir as well as Olaf pushing the rest of this bottom lane here. At this point, guys, the score is 25-12, but I'm feeling the blue team's becoming a little bit stronger here throughout the fights as they do catch Cassidy. Cassidy trying to run away. He does flash up and over the wall here, and he is going to find himself back to the well for safety. Teemo now replenishing his health and mana, and he is coming back as he has decided to go with the Banshee's Veil here as his next item. And now he's going after Sivir, and look at Sivir's health just drop down. Definitely overstaying her welcome here in this fight, and that proves to be the point here. He has built up 20 stacks on all three items. Soraka did go down that fight. She is at 10 stacks on her Magi, 6 stacks on her Leviathan. And Cassidy pushing his way. 8, 8, and 5. Oh no, I'm sorry, that's Shen. 8, 8, and 5 on his 3 stuff. Cassidy sitting at 16, almost reaching that 20 stacks. He does have a blue buff and a red buff now. And there we have Teemo indicating that he has 20 stacks on everything and a ... capital D little smiley face for these guys here. And again, another passive mushroom here. They need to look at these opportunities a little bit more and take advantage of this dragon buff here, as well as the Baron buff, or the dragon kill in global gold, as well as the Baron buff. .35 minutes, well, hitting the 36-minute mark into this game here. And I am, like, super duper hungry. Waiting for this game to end. I'm going to go grab some food and head to work for the day. Where tonight, later on tonight, it is Monday, February 28th, I think, is the day today. For those of you watching this in the future, I'm going to come back and I've got a nice little replay of Rock Solid versus Solo Mid that came from the ESL. Yes, it was shoutcasted by the ESL TV, but we're going to go ahead and put up a replay of it as well and put that to our archive. So it should be something that's pretty good. So tonight I will be covering that. There's a lot of action again in middle here. Looks like Jax killing Shen there. This AP Jax These guys now coming around would be a great opportunity for them to take the dragon, but they're choosing not to, as they do have a guy down. And looks like Mundo is starting to rotate towards this area. The middle lane is going to be pushed here, and I would not be too surprised if we see these people beginning to set up here onto the Baron. So a ward does go down at Baron from these guys. Teemo beginning to work his way over here to check and make sure that everything is okay. We're just see him dropping a mushroom right into this little area here. But I don't think you can actually reach it from there. Katarina being visible on the map. Now we're seeing the rest of the team coming up this way, so I don't know. Mundo, he does catch Mundo there, and Teemo now going to attempt to go for a kill there, trying to get him through the mushrooms, and yes, they do hit the mushroom there. And we're seeing his health drop exponentially, and basically these guys are just very, very much out of position here. Gragas being forced to use his ultimate. And they're all almost dead here. Is Teemo going to have enough to finish all of this off? Cassidy coming in here, and they're all the focus immediately going on to Cassidy. Teemo with no mana right now, trying to just do whatever he can here. Attack, 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 attack. As we're watching some of the blue team's health just melting away here. Gragas nearly dead, being forced back out of this fight. Shen coming in as well, and they're trying to get it done. And we do see Butt Rage with the kill on Sivir, and Teemo just hitting and running, hitting and running. That's going to leave Soraka and Cassidy up in here. Olaf chasing after Cassidy. Teemo needs to pay attention to what's going on as he is chasing Jax, but Olaf sitting in their very own base right now, trying to get at Cassidy, and he does take him down. Soraka trying to finish this up. Teemo had actually chased above and beyond where he needed to go as he's now up against Jax. He is there. He needs to come back down towards this area because this is where that Olaf is. But yeah, one thing that we did see there is Teemo pushing up and out of that fight as he was to chase down Jax. And we're seeing Olaf there escape with very, very low health. But he does let his teammate go down. And Cassidy was at quite a bit of stacks there. 2,137 gold on this Teemo right now. It's going to be interesting to see what his next item he's building is. If he's going to lean more towards AD, where he could possibly pick up a Madrid's Blood Razor, or if he's going to lean more towards AP, where he would go for, well, just something else. I mean, he could. All right, Chainmail or Chain Vest being his next option. This could be going into a couple different things. We may see it being built into a Glacial Shroud, or we may see Teemo do something a little bit different here because he does have 20 stacks on everything. It would not be too uncommon to see him attempt to build this into a Guardian's Angel so that he could hold it. The better item, I think, at this point, to counter some of the damage that's being put by Olaf, because Olaf is doing a lot of damage to these guys, as well as the Jax, would be building it into something like a Glacial Shroud that would be more beneficial to the team. But the way that I've seen this Teemo play, very passive and a lot for himself through this game, I definitely see him going for the Guardian's Angel over the Glacial Shroud, which you would build into a Frozen Heart. So they're now catching them at the blue buff as we're seeing Cassidy coming right in here. The rest of the team coming up shortly behind, able to follow up on this. But now we're seeing Jax and Olaf all running away. Gragas trying to come in here right now. Gragas all coming out for the separation, and that's going to catch Jax on his own. And Jax, I believe, is ghosted as well. Trying to run away from this. He does get taken down by Butt Rage. And never in my life have I said Butt Rage so much. And that's going to give these guys the advantage of being 4v5 right now, as they are put in a position where they're able to push. Whether they push or not, I don't know. We've seen them play very, very passive and very scared due to the amount of snowball items that they have, not taking the risks that you would normally see taking place. So they are beginning to try to push this middle lane here. And they are pushed up to the middle tower here, as we're seeing Dr. Mundo immediately come here. Cassidy with his flash and Rift Walk. With his Rift Walk coming in here, and we're seeing his Pulse Rift as well. And just seeing these guys try to put out a little bit of damage here. Katarina with the Shunko in, forcing Cassidy out of the fight. Cassidy will push off to the side, teleport back. Soraka trying to figure out who she wants to use her heals on here, as we're seeing Cassidy teleporting away from this. Teemo sitting here at full health and mana, dropping some mushrooms down on the lane here. Sivir on the other side, just basically trying to push these creeps back so they're not able to push up towards this tower here. Neutral creeps beginning to push us strongly here at the bottom lane. And that's going to be forcing the purple team back and out of this fight due to Cass and having to he's going to clear up this CS. So let's look at this as we are now 42 long minutes into this game. Sorry about that, guys. We're 42 long minutes into this game here. Cassidy 12-3 and 11. Teemo 9-0 and 10 right now. Shen 6-6 and 14. Killian is Soraka 2-3 and 15. And Greg is 2-5 and 10. Being played by I'm Andy, man. Spruce playing the odd AP Jack as we see him finishing up his Royal's Crystal Scepter. Also Ginsu's Rage Blade and Rabadon's Death Cap at 227 CS, putting him at the highest amount of creep score in the game, which he has pretty much held that title throughout the entire game here. Dr. Mundo 0-5 and 10 as he has picked up a Spirit Visage and now goes for his Fawn, Force of Nature. And they're able to catch Dr. Mundo off in the woods here as we see Teemo, Gragas, and Soraka all being away from him. But Teemo just backs out of these fights way too quick here. And not able to really put out the amount of damage that he's capable of. You can see him just backing where he could be turning and chipping here, and he is just running away here and letting his team die. Like, I don't understand what his whole concept is. Yeah, he has 9 CS, or 9 champion kills, but he is definitely not playing very good at all. He needs to make sure that he's putting himself into the opportunities where he can consistently do damage. Yes, when they're pressuring him, there's a thing called micro, where you can hit and run. And until this Teemo learns this, we'll see him kind of staying in that 1300 bracket. I can definitely see why, and wouldn't be surprised if these guys were to lose this game here, because he has the ability for so much damage output, but not really being efficient with what he's doing. He did go for what I thought he was going to go for. He finished up a Guardian's Angel here so he could maintain all of these stacks here in case he does put himself in a bad position. And these guys, again, just a familiar side that we've seen they have pushed up to the middle lane for about the 5th time here. And we're seeing Gragas now. They have chosen to go in and attempt to initiate this fight. Olaf taking a lot of damage, being forced out of the fight earlier. And now we're seeing Teemo get focused on by Jack, using his flash to escape out of that. And these guys are all at really low health. They need to commit themselves in here and just finish this up. Butt Rage does go and able to kill Sivir. And these guys all at very low health here as well. So both teams sitting very low here. Katarina, pretty decent health here. Wouldn't be surprised if we see her make a move on one of these guys. But something tells me this match is going to be taking about an hour. As we're now seeing Mundo try to come in here. Mundo is going to be dropping from this. No, he does have his ultimate off. Shen coming in with the taunt. He's barely alive here, able to regen himself. As we're now seeing Teemo's focus going on to Katarina. And they do have these guys pushed back enough where these guys can attempt to come in here and go after this tower now. So we're now seeing the tower finally going down long enough for those guys to be forced back out of this. Olaf coming in with full health here, and he's going to attempt to possibly... Yeah, these guys are in a situation where they can defend this inhibitor, as we're seeing now Jax come in here. Unfortunately, it was targeting Shen instead of somebody with a little bit lower health and damage resistance. And finally, they do push up through middle, and they're able to take down the tower and the inhibitor. Shen dashing away from these guys. Mundo trying to get files out here. And these guys are committed. And they're just going to continuously go in here. And we're now seeing Mundo just getting torn away by shreds from Teemo right now. Butt Rage doing a good job there, and we're now seeing an ultimate from Shen coming in here, and this is putting it into a 3v4 fight here, as now we see Gragas going down 3v3 right now, and the purple team definitely overstaying their welcome there as blue team comes through, and they are able to basically attempt to counter push this back, but I believe they're going to be forced back to heal as well, as a few mushrooms along the way dwindles their health down. Cassidy now, he's going to be grabbing the blue buff here. So let's look at all the snowball items. Any more being brought to the table here? I wouldn't have been too surprised if I seen Soraka go for an occult just for those. Soraka up to 15 and 11 on her stacks. Teemo maxed at all 20 right now. Shen just recently dying again. 5, 5, and 4. So definitely not worth him going for all of the snowball stuff. Gragas does finish his rabbit on Steph Cap. Next he's picked up a Negatron Cloak, Heart of Gold, and a Regrowth Pendant. So a little mix of a couple items there, possibly going for a Force of Nature. With the Heart of Gold there just to sustain a little bit more, well, a little bit more gold. So now we're seeing both teams begin to kind of gather up around the jungle area here, as we're wondering if they're going to go for the Baron buff or if they're going to, well, it looks like we're seeing Olaf come in here. Olaf does pick up that Frozen Heart, a great item for him to help with the Teemo here. So now we're seeing Cassidy come in here. Great Rift Walk as he comes in there doing a ton of damage. Rift walks around to the side here. We see Katarina and Mundo now chasing Soraka out of this fight. Soraka's being forced to back here. The rest of the team trying to come up in on this and save her. From behind, we're seeing Olaf now on Shen. Shen using his ultimate to get forward towards Soraka here, where they've now chosen to chase Dr. Mundo. Teemo does have Olaf gathered up back here, and Olaf now being forced to run away from this fight as we're seeing Cassidy just blinking in on him over and over and over again. Silence off onto him. There was the Pulse Rift, and these guys have chosen to surrender. So this is now over. Yeah, 5 votes for surrender, 0 against. Victory going for the purple team here, which was which is Ruiz on Teemo, Nivrad on Shen, and Killian on Soraka. I'm Andy Meg on Gragas, and Butt Rage as Cassidy. Thank you guys again for joining me. Please, if you enjoy the the League of Legends YouPlays, subscribe, add me as a friend on YouTube, post a comment on my page, and do the best thing, spread the word, guys. Tell your friends about this. Show this video to one of your friends, he'll show it to one of his friends, and more people get enjoyment out of what we're making. And thanks again for joining me. I am Pat the Twiz Harrison from e-rev TV, and you just watched our LOL YouPlays number 3. Have a good day.